Plaintiff Diane Carpenter, the owner of Sunshine Bail Bonds, is suing the defendants, Joseph and Angela Lusk, for the balance due on a bail bond. Diane says she was there to help Angela after Angela was put in jail for abusing her 5-year-old son. But the Lusk deny abusing Angela's son, and they claim all Angela did was spank her son after he was suspended from school.
Diane Carpenter, doing business as Sunshine Bail Bonds, is suing Angela Lusk and Joseph Lusk for the remaining balance on a bail bond. Diane, talk to me how you came to give them money for bail.
I've been in bail for many, many years, 30 plus years. My family, my father was in bail before me. My sons are in bail.
So it's family business.
It's a family business, very much so. We do bail and bounty hunting. Usually the bounty hunting is a result of having posted bail that went bad.
Yeah, that bounty hunting is a result of having posted bail. They took off and you're out the money, so you're looking for them.
That's correct. My father started business in Colorado, and I moved to Colorado after a divorce as a single parent, and initially was just going to get a license to help my parents out when they were out of town. I had a graphic design business. Had no intention of being a bail bondsman, but it sucks you in. You either love it or you hate it.
It's great business.
And I grew to love it because my family does bail differently than other families.
How's that?
We're second chance people.
Really?
And we believe that everybody's entitled to be out on bail while they're awaiting trial. And everybody is truly innocent until proven guilty.
Well, you have a constitutional right to bail. It's one of the fundamental principles of our criminal justice system.
But a lot of times, when a judge sets a bond extremely high, which in certain cases they do, and that was the case in Angela's case, they don't have enough money to get out, and they're stuck. A Sunshine Bail Bonds is in Mississippi, and in the state of Mississippi, if it may be a year and a half before your case even goes to the grand jury.
Oh, wow.
And you will sit in jail all that time before you even have a court date. And so, as part of being in bail and bounty hunting, I gave Dwayne Chapman, known to most people as Dog, his first bounty.
You did?
I did.
So how did you meet him?
He lived in Denver, and so did I. Had a bail company in Denver. In fact, my bail company at that time was Diane's Bail Bonds. Let a blonde write your bond was my slogan.
Let a blonde write your bond?
That was my slogan.
That's when you were a blonde.
That's when I was a blonde. I'm kind of a platinum blonde now, but it's natural. And Dwayne came to me, as he did to other bonding companies in town, wanting to do bounty. And most of the other bonding companies in town, because of the way he looked, wouldn't talk to him.
Interesting.
And I said, I don't care how you look. Can you do the job? And I had a file on a girl that I had been looking for about 4 months. And I said, take this file and show me what you can do. And he brought her back the same day. So
I'm not surprised.
And in fact, as it turned out, Youngblood, the one they call Youngblood, they call him Dog's brother. They're not really brothers. That's my son.
Youngblood is your son?
Yeah, that's my child.
No kidding.
And how that happened was because...
I know that we're digressing here, but this is fascinating.
How that happened is because Tim was 13 when I first went in the bail business. He was with me, and we were in a car, and we drive down the street in Denver, and I said, there's John so-and-so that jumped bond on me, and I always carry cuffs with me.
You carry a gun too?
No.
You don't?
Don't believe in guns. Carry cuffs. But I said, there's John so-and-so that jumped on me, and he grabbed the cuffs and was out of the car at 14 years old and had him cuffed and on the ground before we could even get the vehicle stopped. So I knew right then he was going in family business.
Explain to the members of the audience here that when somebody jumps bail, okay, that you as a bondsman get a bounty hunter to go find them so that once they're back in jail, you get your money?
Basically what happens is if somebody's out on bail, they pay us a percentage of the bond.
Usually 10%.
Usually 10%. It
Right.
varies from state to state. But if they don't go to court and we're unable to get them back in, I get to pay 100% of the bail to the state.
Okay.
Which is big incentive.
Yes. Yes.
Not to leave them out there running around on my bond.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
All right, good. So how did you meet the defendants?
Okay. I was answering my phone and I spoke to Angela. She was in custody. She had a $50,000 bond because she was charged with felony child abuse.
What was the allegation, Angela?
First of all, my son had a history of acting out sexually in school. He'd been suspended for sexual misconduct.
How old was he?
5.
5 years old, acting out sexually?
Yes.
What did that tell you?
We didn't know what was going on.
If a boy's acting out sexually, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out somebody's abusing him.
Right. But who, we didn't know.
Well, who has custody of him?
I did.
Anyone
time.
else?
I was going through a divorce.
Yeah.
So there wasn't nothing was settled yet. But I had him with me in my care.
No. Don't jump around on me. Who else saw your son when he was
with my
5?
parents.
With your parents?
Yes.
What about your ex?
No.
No visitation?
None. I got a call from the police, about my son. I was asked to come down. They had him in custody. I didn't know what was going on. Had no idea. They wouldn't tell me anything. I got down there. They talked to me for hours, wouldn't let me see my child. I finally got something out of them, and that was, you're under arrest for child abuse.
Right.
I did not abuse my child. He got a spanking for that. Yes. I did.
You got to spank him for what?
For getting suspended from school for acting out.
You got a 5-year-old. We're not talking about a 13-year-old.
Right.
If a 5-year-old is acting out, that means that there are problems at home or people that he's with are creating problems for him. And if he's acting out sexually, that means he's being sexually abused. Unless you're showing him porno tapes.
We didn't know. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know why they had my son. I talked with many people asking what to do, how to help my child.
Did you take him into therapy?
I did. I got him into therapy.
Before or after you got arrested?
Before.
Okay, what are they telling you?
At the time, they took so long getting him in, everything was, a process.
Did he get in before the arrest?
No.
What a shock. So she gets arrested for felony child abuse. The bail is set at what?
$50,000.
What do you charge her?
Well, she is to be charged by law, must be charged 10% plus a $25 state processing fee.
Okay,
so
forget the
$5,025. Okay.
So
she didn't have $5,025.
So what'd you do?
Well, I did, which is my right to do. I extended her credit. Okay.
Very unusual for a bondsman to do that.
But again, we're second chance people.
Okay. How much did she give you?
$550.
That's all she had, right?
That's all she had. Okay. Now, but we discussed the fact that she was going to try and get a bond reduction. And I specifically said to her, Angela, if you're planning on getting a bond reduction, you need to stay in jail till you get a bond reduction.
Your Honor.
Because if you get a bond reduction later, it's not going to affect how much money you owe me.
Your Honor.
By law, I must charge you 10% of the bond that I post.
So she got out of bail on the $50,000.
But she didn't tell me this before I was out.
That's not true.
Do you have the bail bond?
Yes.
Let's see it. What did she tell you, Angela?
In fact, the guy that she sent down to sign my bond, he didn't tell me any of that.
I further understand that the premium owing and or paid on this bond is fully earned upon the release of the defendant from custody. Now, you're saying you didn't know that you were supposed to pay the $5,000 even if the bond were reduced. Was the bond reduced?
Yes, it was.
Okay. How much have you paid her in total?
I've paid her $2,300.
Is that what you got?
$2,200 or
What she paid you,
$2,300.
Diane?
You have my document there that says what she still owes. It's on that.
Oh, wow. $26.75 is what she owes now?
Yes.
Why were you charged with the abuse of your son?
Because I spanked him and there was a bruise
Where was the bruise?
on his tail.
On his tail?
Yes.
It's hard
On
to
his-
bruise on the butt. You
Yes,
know why?
it is.
Because there's
He's
so
very
much fat there.
fair-skinned. He's very fair-skinned, really light complected.
So you can see the evidence quicker than someone with darker skin.
Well, he bruises easily.
Oh, that's a good answer. That's not an answer you give me. Why would you hit a child that hard that he bruises on the butt?
I didn't hit him very hard at all.
Well, apparently Child Protective and the court and everybody else thought that you did. And you're abusing a child who's acting out because he's being sexually abused. You didn't get him into therapy until after you were arrested. Come on,
I had
he's
already
only
went
a baby.
down and got him in the process, but his first actual session was not until, a couple of weeks later.
What did you learn from the counselors who worked with your child?
That later on is when I learned that he was sexually abused.
And Joseph, what is your mission here?
I was listed on the paperwork as being sued
Okay.
also.
All right. How was your child acting out?
Didn't want to listen on a constant basis and would never understand the word no. He couldn't understand. We got him into counseling. We tried to get him into counseling beforehand. When we found out some of the stuff that was going on the first incident at school, he was suspended. We went to go get him counseling, asked the teachers, asked who we needed to talk to get him the help he needed. But before we could even get him to an actual counselor,
couldn't get him in. Yeah,
it
she was
happened.
arrested. Children can't speak for themselves. They don't understand why they're acting out. Okay. All right. So you don't think you owe her the rest of the money, the $26.75? She says $28.75. You don't think you owe her
ma'am.
that, even though she
No.
bailed you out on $50,000, even though the bond was reduced.
Right.
Okay. And your theory is that because the bond was reduced to $20,000, it should only be 10% of $20,000.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this is a very simple case. Fundamentally, it's a breach of contract case. The plaintiff is saying, look, I'm a bail bonds person. I bonded somebody out of jail. The bail was set at $50,000. 10% of $50,000 is $5,000. The defendant turns around and says, oh, that's great. It was $50,000, but the judge reduced it to $20,000, and 10% of $20,000 is $2,000. So I'm already paid up since I've already paid her $2,300. Besides the plaintiff being able to prove that the defendant, as well as her husband, has promised to pay the $5,000 or 10% of $50,000, and it's all here, there is a statement that is fundamental to this case, and that is, I understand that the premium owing and paid on this bond is fully earned upon release of the defendant from custody. The defendant was released from custody when bail was set at $50,000, even though it was later reduced. Therefore, the bondsperson, Diane, has clearly earned the money. Premium is earned in any of these cases the minute the defendant is released on the street. So as far as this court is concerned, the claim of the plaintiff for the additional $26.75, which is what I'm going to give you, is awarded, and that is a verdict of the court.